Hello everybody, Giant here with another episode of the Alpha Dragon series in which we take a look at in-development video games, and today we are taking a look at Approaching Infinity by Ibology. This is a top-down space roguelike in which you either explore the galaxy, become a terrible pirate, become a trader. You can really become whatever you want in this game, which is kind of why it's really fun. This game is currently in Beta 04, although I currently am using the Beta 03 because only people who have already purchased the game can get updates to the beta. I was a bit too late for the train, and rather than bug the developer to try and get an access to what's called Beta 4, I decided to just look at the public changelog, and quite frankly, we're not missing out on much. So, we're just going to keep on playing the Beta 3, and hopefully give you a good idea on why you should look into this game and keep it on your radar. Or maybe not, maybe you aren't into this type of game. That's the glory of video games, you know? Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. Anyways, let's quit. Oh my god, just please, English. Let's quit jibber-jabbering here on the menu. You'll notice there's no options menu. There's no options menu in anything yet. I mean, you can access it from the game, but the only option is to save and exit, so, you know, there's that. The credits, if you're playing the Beta 4, then you have credits. Beta 3, however, does not. So, either way, our only options are new game and to continue. I'm gonna start a new game, though. Yes, my old save will be deleted, and that's okay, because I want to delete that old save. And let's see, once you boot into the game, you get access to one of 4 potential ships to play as. You got the Assault Scout, which starts off with 2 weapons, good armor shields. It's obviously a combat ship, and as such, it doesn't have a lot of room for cargo or crew or supplies, all of which are very important in this game. So, you know, you're kind of going all in on the space front, because there are 2 fronts to this game. There's space, and then there's exploring planets, which again we'll get into later. Over here we've got the trader, which personally, when it comes down to the from scratch start, I actually feel like this is actually the better one off. It starts off with very low armor, or rather no armor at all, or either shield, so basically 0 defense whatsoever. Also got a pretty poor weapon starting off, but it has a lot of cargo space as well as some good supply and crew. And every single time you start a game in this game, you always have 10,000 credits to start off with, if I recall correctly. So you can easily purchase a shield and some armor, and the weapon, although it says poor, actually isn't bad. You can still 1 to 2 shot most ships in the early game, so personally, I would actually say this is one of the easiest starts, because you start off with a lot of space for supply and crew, second most supply and crew size, and the single most amount of cargo space of all of the starting 4 ships, if I recall correctly. So, you know, just invest a little bit of money in the defense, and suddenly you've got a really, really nasty ship, or rather, a really good ship for you. No, the nasty one is still reserved for assault. There's a light explorer, which starts off with 1 weapon, a good shield and sensors. Wait, does this one not have very good these 2 actually don't talk about their sensors much, do they? Either way, it's got better sensors than the other ones. It's got a decent weapon, only 1 of them though. No armor though, so it's all depending on the shields there. But it's got a lot of room for crew and supplies, which makes it very, very good for exploring planets, which is personally what I like to do in this game. Also has a lot of device slots, which devices, again, we'll talk about that more once we get into the game. Or once we get to the asteroid miner, rather, which has good weapon and armor, but no shield and a very small crew, but some decent cargo space, and devices for asteroid mining. So devices are sort of like things you can equip to give you a passive effect, both while exploring planets and while in space. So for example, the asteroid miner starts with 2 devices, something that helps increase the drop rate of asteroids when you mine them, as well as an asteroid plow, which allows you to traverse otherwise impassable tiles in this game. Either way, the way I want to start, generally I play with the Light Explorer or the Trader, because the Light Explorer is how I like to play the game, and the Trader is actually a surprisingly good start if you can make it to the bank station without dying. But for this one, and for demonstrational purposes, I'm going to start with the Assault Scout to help protect my initial investment. You can customize your character. So, currently I'm going to go with a red shirt male who's using a rifle. For the record, this is more than a visual effect. This one, you start off with the dinky little pea shooter, but it's got a little bit of range, whereas this one gives you a shotgun, which has very little range, but a decent amount of damage. We're going to be ginger with the red with the red shirt. Again, all of this stuff is aesthetic. Only this and this matter. You can also play as a male or a female, but I'm going to play as a male because I am a male. And damn it, I'm recreating myself in a video game, sort of. Either way, here's the pay it forward. When you first play this game, you will have $0 to draw from, whereas I have 509,000. So, There is that. For demonstrational purposes, again, I'm going to start with the Assault Scout to protect my initial investment of $509,600. Again, I'll explain more of this once we get into the game, but suffice it to say, it's sort of like a banking system where you can throw all of your money from a previous character into the bank and then draw from it with another character. And we're going to play on medium difficulty because easy is boring and hard. Well, again, I want to protect my investment here, so let's play this game and get on in. Would you like to play a short tutorial level? No! Damn it, I am the tutorial! So welcome to the world of Approaching Infinity, or rather the universe of Approaching Infinity. There's actually quite a few worlds. And first of all, let's talk about the GUI here to try and explain it. This little blue thing here is your shields. Currently we have 10 points in shield, which of course obviously shields recharge after you, the shields, they work in this way, they work in this game the way that they work in other games. Down here is the hole, which is your hit points. These will not recover, and it's actually rather expensive to repair these, so ideally, you want to try and block as much of it with the shields as possible. Yeah, another reason I do like the Light Explorer. These are your supplies. Every single time you move around, or fire your weapon, or really do anything in general, you're going to consume your supplies. If you run out of supplies, I'm not actually sure what happens. You might die there on the spot, your crew might slowly die until you die. Who knows? Either way, speaking of crew, here's your crew. Currently we have 9, although we do have room for quite a bit more. I'm not sure. I guess we just start off a little bit low. Your crew, of course, is generally, it's not too important unless you want to explore planets, in which case you're going to have a landing party, and that landing party will have a certain strength depending on how much crew you have. So that is very important to note down there. Down, of course, up here we have our various tabs: quests, installation, officers, crafting, components. Components is what we're currently looking at. Then we've got devices and landing party, which are your ship devices and devices that your landing party currently have. So, for example, we start off with the pulse rifle, which is 7 damage and has a range of 2 to 3. Again, I think the pistol would have had a bit more than that. And also, firing this weapon incurs a negative speed, which means that other opponents will have a lot more uses, a lot more turns than us if we use that weapon. Over here we have cargo. Artifacts, which we don't have any of, neither cargo, and again, we've only got 15 cargo space because we picked the light assault. Map legend. Currently, all we know about on this lamp, all we know about on this map is a Terran planet. Let me see if I can find anything else around here. This is there's our banker station, which is sort of like the hub. That's where I'll talk about more about that later. And then we can see our race relations, which all we know about right now are the bankers. There are plenty of alien races in this game, all of which sort of have their own little personalities to them, if you will. Either way, though, let's take a look at the crafting menu. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how this menu works. There is that short tutorial, but the tutorial neglects to mention anything about crafting, salvaging, anything about the lab, or anything about this effects the effects known tab I'll talk about later. But yeah, the lab, the salvage, the crafting, I have no idea what these are about. I've experimented and I have no idea. The tutorial completely neglects to mention them, so that's definitely something to work on in terms of the tutorial there. Officers tab, we can recruit officers at banker stations to hopefully give our ship some more passive bonuses, but I believe our officers can die if we're careless. At least the landing party ones can, so that is something to bear in mind. And over here we have our quests, which we don't have a single one of. So let's go over here to the banker station and see what is going on over here. Again, this is kind of like the hub, so over here we can go on ahead and hire a full crew, which will refill our crew slots. We can restock our supplies by pressing the buttons relative to there. The green buttons are a little bit hard to see, I will admit, but yes, we can refill our crew and supplies here, as well as repair our hull. Thankfully, we didn't take any hull damage. I would be sad if we did, because we didn't even encounter any resistance. Also, there's a docking fee, which you should probably bear in mind as well. And, of course, as you probably noticed, probably didn't notice, rather, but as I was going around, I was collecting data. Data you get as you kind of just sort of mindlessly lumber around the galaxy, I guess you can say. Anytime you really take an action, kill an enemy, explore an unexplored tile, you get data, which you can sell here to, well, makes a little bit of extra chump change. I mean, it's easy enough. And that's really where you're going to get a decent portion of your money with the Light Explorer, as well as basically, it's just a nice little bit of additional money you can get. Commodities exchange, if we found some of these objects around here, you can find all these objects lying around from space after destroying different types of ships. Really, after anything, while exploring planets. You can find a ton of these different types of things, and you can sell them here for, for their respective sell price. Different sectors will have different types, or will have different amounts of sells and buy prices. So again, if you're playing the trader, that might not be a bad idea to get a powerful engine and sort of like go between sectors trying to min-max your exchanges, stuff like that. Starship outfitters is where you can get devices and weapons for your ship. They will almost always have one sensors, one weapon, one engine, one type of infantry weapon, and one type of thing. What's it called again? One type of component, is it? Component, yeah, that's right. Or is it device? One type of device, there we go. So, again, this is one thing I do have to mention here, is that, as you probably noticed, back on the star map, whenever I hovered over one of these buttons, they did kinda, they made a little bit of a glowing blue thing, and they told me what each tab was. If you're in the crafting menu or a bank menu or something like that, they don't do that. They don't glow. They don't have the thing over it. You can still click it and switch between the tabs, but they sort of lose the effect that they had earlier. Also, it would be nice if they sort of made a little sound whenever you hovered over it. But anyways, that's just that's just one of those things that would be nice and is by no means necessary. Speaking of which, I actually see something interesting there. We have a steel hammer, which deals a lot more damage than our steel sword, but also incurs a pretty nasty speed penalty. So I may actually want to avoid that. It's not necessary right now. We are in fact only in the first sector, so I'm not too worried about that. Over here is in the pawn shop. You can sell any excess devices and components that you have. So, buy something in the outfitters, then go down to the pawn shop, sell your old thing. Or say you find something that you don't even want, you can go to the pawn shop and sell that. Generally, they sell for pretty well. Contracts office. This is where you get your quests. So, take a mysterious package to the banker station in Sector 2. So, we can accept this contract, and there we go. I wonder if that actually shows up in our cargo. No, it doesn't. So there's our quest. It's just to get to Sector 2 and find the banker station. Pay it forward. This is where I got all my money from last time. Basically, with how I handled this was I played one game. I got really far. I also got one insanely powerful glitch. And I got lots and lots and lots of money, which I used, donated to the Pay It Forward thing, which allows you to donate money to spacers in need. Should you die, your account will be accessible to future explorers. 20% of all donations is 20% of all donations is deducted to cover the cost of the service. So again, that's basically the 20% is just to make sure that you don't sort of like spam this if you're on the brink of death. Well, I don't know. Just to make sure that you don't kind of spam it, I guess. I don't know. Either way, this is how I got so much money. This is how that pay it forward system works. And over here in the shipyard, you can buy various different types of ships. Unfortunately, there's only one ship per banker station, and I don't think it ever changes. Currently, this one is a stealth runner, which I'd imagine is sort of like a combat stealth ship. I'm not entirely sure. It's got 11 hull, which is pretty terrible. Only 4 crew, 10 cargo. So yeah, this is definitely a combat ship with an emphasis on using cloak, which I'm not interested in because I'm not too interested in the cloak. So we're going to depart from this station, and let's go down here to the Terran planet and explain the what's it called? Well, actually, hang on. First, I should probably mention that while I explore around here. Oh, there's another hangar. This is the nebula. It will, of course, obscure your view. This is a little interesting looking thing is war point, so if I were to press 5 or space here, then I could go on over to Sector 2, which I actually think I'm going to do right now. There we go. Take the mysterious package. It will remind you of any quests you have in that area anytime you jump there. So, also, I should mention controls. That is one thing. This game does operate via your typical, keyboard controls. You can play with the D-pad, although I would actually recommend playing with the number pad, because diagonal movement, obviously on planets as well as in space, your movement, generally you want it to be deliberate, and diagonal movement as a result of that is actually rather important, so that is something to bear in mind. I would recommend using the D-pad, also because 5 basically does the exact same thing as spacebar, and it basically means you can play this game with one hand, so, nice little thing there. And hello, there we have our first alien counter in this game. About bloody time. It's a gruff instigator, and he says, "Hey you, wanna fight?" Yes sir, I do have 2 weapons, and I'm going to horribly annihilate you. So, basically pressing, whenever you're in a combat scenario, or not even, you can press the F button, and it will automatically target any ship that is currently hostile nearby. And you press the F button again, and it fires. Alternatively, you can use the mouse cursor to target a neutral or a different hostile enemy that the game wants to attack. And then you press F to fire on those guys as well. Hello there. For example, I can go on over here, click on him, and fire. Unfortunately, he got away with 4% HP. Also should be noted that whenever you mouse over them or target them with F, you can see the stats. His attitude is currently scared, because he has 0% threat to me, and a 4%, and his ship is in 4% condition. So basically, we're gonna put the poor bastard out of his misery. There we go. And he's dead. Currently, they've only been giving us supplies, but they can give us various of those little commodities that we were discussing earlier. So I should mention the asteroid plow that I mentioned that the asteroid miner comes with. He can make it through these tiles. We, however, cannot. So we're going to have to carefully navigate around this, as well as slowly mine these. Also, you can press 0 to wait, which might not be the best idea, although certainly there's some times when I can see it being useful. Oh, hello there, I didn't even see you. Hi. You're dead. Ah, good, he gave us some money. Also, another thing I should mention is that the trader actually comes with a beacon to automatically show you where the banker station is, which is nice. Also, should mention, banker station is not the only type of hub. Depending on the sector you're in, you can also come across an alien embassy, which, depending on your race relation with said alien race, you can actually get quests from them to sort of further advance their storylines, and perhaps go towards one of the many, believe it's currently up to 9 win conditions that are in the game. So that's definitely something, and you've successfully delivered to the package. Your reward is well deserved. And it is an absolutely pitiful reward, if I do say so myself, but whatever. Just do my things. Also, one thing I did forget to mention is that you can hire your officers here. So over here we can hire Cynthia Wakefield, who is an engineering an engineering officer, and her skills are in energy fields, so odds are she would probably end up giving us some kind of bonus to our shields if we were to hire her. However, officers are expensive as bloody hell, so no thank you. I think I'll hold off for now. We still did not find a single commodity. I mean, we could buy some and sell some earlier. You'll notice that in the first beacon, they actually had a rather hefty price for boxes of boxes, so maybe a good idea would be to buy some here, then go back to Sector 1, and then sell them, you know? Again, that's what I would do if I was a trader, but currently, you know. Let's go around Starship Outfitters. We actually have an outdated spacesuit, which might be better than ours. HP is 18, oxygen has a lot more vision, or range, rather. I don't know. Over here, it's VIS, then up there on the top, they call it range. Either way, that's how far you can see. This one has 4, but that one has 4 as well. Damage reduction. Damage reduction is actually very important. There are certain types of plants in this game that will deal damage every single turn to your crew. However, the damage reduction will reduce that damage, and if the damage reduction is over the amount, or over or equal to the amount that the plant would deal to you, then you can explore without any damage whatsoever, and it's rather nice. And what is that S? Speed. Oh, I see. This one actually gives a speed suit, or a speed boost. So I'm going to buy that. It will automatically replace our old one, so I can sell this one for 166 credits. Wow. That is pretty terrible. Also, down here I can get an asteroid cracker, which is the augment that the device that the asteroid miner starts with. And also, I could buy an upgraded shield, which would give us 75 shield, which is a lot better than our current one. But again, I don't plan on holding on to this ship for very long. And that is a hefty reward. A plant in Sector 3 is infested with bunnies. Kill them! You are terrible people. Yeah, again, all the bankers care about is money, so I guess they just don't care for the lives of beautiful furry creatures. Oddly enough, this is being recorded on Easter, so, irony! Yes! I'll go ahead and accept that one, because that's a lot of money. Unfortunately, extermination missions are very annoying, and I will have to talk about that later. Let's pay forward ship. They actually have a cruiser. Oh, it's just a little bit out of my budget, it looks like. Ideally, what I kind of want to get is a freighter. There's lots of different types of ships. There's cruisers, freighters, surveyors, stealth runners. Lots of different types. Cruisers, of course, it might just be the ultimate type of ship. I don't know. It's got a lot of supplies. Although I think the surveyor gets like 12,000 supplies. Cargo is only 25, though. So cruiser is kind of like the ultimate in combat ship technology. However, I cannot afford it, so womp womp. We're not going to be doing that. Again, ideally, I'm looking for a freighter here, which is personally what I would kind of like to go with. It's got a lot of room for supplies, not quite as much as the surveyor, but a lot of room for supplies and unmatched cargo space, which means that you can basically loot all you want. Oh, hello there. You can just go on ahead and die, and hello there, lots and lots of nano machines. There's our commodities, finally. They came to us in full now. Of course they did. Regardless, now that we got that spacesuit, let's head on over here to this planet, which the game identifies as a frozen planet at, oh, hello there. You should get out of my way. Thank you. So, if you go over to a frozen planet, or any planet, you can come on down, and depending on the type of planet, it'll tell you, hey, you might take damage here. It'll give you a big ol' warning, but thankfully we have the outdated spacesuit, which means that we will be able to explore this Arctic planet without any worries whatsoever. This seems a little bit less like an Arctic planet, and a little bit more like an underground cavern, but there are caves in this game, I should mention, but anyways. Here we have our carnivorous plant, a hungry plant monster. Let's kill it. We're actually too close to use the pulse rifle effectively. Oh, whoops. There we go. Hitting him from maximum range. This guy has a lot of HP. Again, looking at the GUI, this is the HP of your current party. If that hits 0, then your landing party is dead. But that is not game over. You go back to your ship. Your captain will never go down to the planet. Neither will your officers unless you let them. Whenever you hire an officer, there's a little button that says landing party. And if you check that, then they'll go on with the next landing party. And if that landing party dies, then guess what? Your officer dies. Just like that pale bunny died. And the other thing is, you'll notice oxygen low. This is your oxygen meter. If that runs low, depending on the type of planet you're on, different things can happen. Basically, on any planet other than a Terran planet, which are the blue ones that we saw earlier, your crew will begin to asphyxiate, which means they'll take a lot of damage the more turns that they go. So that's generally not a good thing to, let happen. On Terran planets, though, arguably something worse can happen. You can catch a horrible, voracious disease that will kill your entire crew. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. So ideally, again, there is the chance that there won't be a disease on a Terran planet, but the diseases in this game are rather unfortunate. Ooh, just as unfortunate. I think I may actually... I'm going to right-click. Oh, we made it. You can right-click to immediately send your crew to that location with reckless abandon. He will, of course, take the optimal route, however, which is why right-clicking is actually a pretty nice feature here. Either way, it doesn't actually look like we're finding much down here on this planet. You can find cave entrances, which will allow you to go deeper. And in these caves, you can actually find items that will give you more oxygen in your suits, which are obviously very nice to come across, because it increases the amount of time you can spend to explore, and especially when you're in a cave, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, with the oxygen limitation, you don't want to spend too much time in a cave down below. As far as I can tell, you cannot actually move the shuttle. You can't move a shovel either, but that's because there aren't any shovels in this game. Does not actually... Where is this bloody cave? I feel like almost every planet in this game has one, but anyways, I shouldn't spend too much time here because I do want to explore the other planets so I can sort of give my 2 cents about the extermination missions, because they are a little bit stupid and not worth your time sometimes. I mean, they're worth a lot of money, but at what point... Oh, here we go. Here's a barren planet. Actually, no, I might actually want to go back to, okay, you can just die. Thank you. Let's go to Sector 3. And Sector 3, there's a planet infested with bunnies. God, that sounds terrible. Here's the Terran planet. So where is this? Explore the Terran planet at 13.6. It will tell you that, and now that we're in the sector, if we go to Quest, it will say, go to the planet at 13.6. So, there's that. This is not the planet at 13.6, I don't think. No, this is planet 919. This is a little bit of an annoying thing, is that if your mouse cursor is on something other than explored space, it won't tell you what coordinate it is. So you kind of have to hand count it out from where you are, which is a little bit annoying. I would prefer if it told you the coordinates of unexplored space, because they aren't going to be any different. It always goes from 0, 0 to like 31 or 31 or whatever the hell the tiles are. Also, apparently we're actually running low on supplies, which is unfortunate. I did forget to stock up. This is actually not good. Where is this damn banker station? Occasionally you can come across an alien race called the Sigorn. Oh, hello there. You can just die. Thank you very much. Which will, they'll have a freighter which will always just basically beeline to the banker station. Oh dear. This is, I'm trying not to fire my weapons because weapons consume, supplies. Where is this damn banker station? Oh, wait, supplies! Oh, a godsend. A gift from the gods. Not very much, though. Ooh. This could actually be bad. If I lose all... Oh. A banker tug is on the way. Hope you survive. Oh, right, because, yeah, engines consume it as well. And there's our banker tug. You've been towed to the nearest banker station for a fee of 12,000 credits. So that's what happens if you run out of supplies. Alright, I never actually knew that. So there we go. A lesson both for me and for you guys. He takes us to the banker station, fills us up with half supplies. And I'm going to go in and hopefully they have something in the shipyard that I'm interested in. No, they still don't. Come on, guys. Is it really that hard? Either way, pawn shop commodity. Let's just refill our crew, repair a hole. Do that. Sell our what's it called, our data for a little bit of extra money. Lost a little bit of money there. Well, that was unfortunate. Again, you generally lost at refill on supplies, especially with a ship with as few supplies as this one. Good God. Either way, this one, another planet infested with bunnies. Wow, these are terrible people. Stop it. Alright, let's head on over to the planet at 13.6. That is this one over here. Go! Oh, well, decide to mine a ship along the way. And there's a friggin' gruff instigator, although it looks like we already blew our load on him, did we? Where's our weapons here? Weapons, cooldown? I guess we already attacked him? Because, oh, there we go. No, I was pressing D, which naturally is not the button you use to kill people. It's F. Alright, so on this planet, we're going to find bunnies, and every single time we kill one, it will tell you X out of 18 bunnies killed. Now, here's the annoying thing. There are only 18 bunnies on this planet, at least sometimes, but more often than not, these extermination missions end up just becoming a game of you running around mindlessly trying to find an enemy that may honestly not even be there. Like, on my last file, there was, I spent about 15 to 20 minutes on one planet trying to find the last bunny, and I couldn't find it. And it wasn't the first time either. There was another one I was supposed to exterminate bugs, and again, I couldn't find it after almost 10 minutes of work, so it was just like, are you serious right now? Definitely feel like the extermination missions need to be worked on a little bit. Either way, here's one of these caves I was talking about. We're in a cave now. And over here we got a subterranean sucker. The caves will never hold a creature that you have to exterminate, which is definitely good. Oh, come on. Die. Die. This sword is so ineffective. Why do I have a sword in the space age? So the landing party took a little bit of damage there. I'm going to go back down. You'll also notice that this percentage number, it's your survival chance, which I generally don't pay much attention to. How dare a robot tell me how good my survival odds are? Either way, we're going to go ahead and kill that guy. He dropped us some minerals, which is interesting. Oh, you can just go on ahead and get on out of here and die. Here's some of that oxyalgae, which will refill and indeed overflow your oxygen tanks, which is always quite nice. Oh, you don't want to touch that thing. This guy, what is he called? He is an indigo puffer, aka an exploding fungus ball. Whenever he dies, he'll deal damage to you if you're right next to him, and he'll always die if you're right next to him. And he also will replicate, like, he'll basically reproduce and create more of him all around you, which is definitely an annoying thing. Hello there. Let's kill the bunnies. Was there another bunny up here? Yep, there's one, and there was another one down to the bottom right. Come on. We need to kill them all. Oh, yeah, here. 10 out of 18 bunnies killed. Oh, let's make it. Let's make it 11 now. And head on back to here. Also, there is one thing I should note. This game doesn't have any music. I'm sure plenty of people have asked that by now. I meant to address that in the first one, but yeah, this game currently does not have a soundtrack built into the game. However, there is a soundtrack in the works, which I will include a link to down in the description. However, yeah, I've probably just got some FTL music going in the background or something, because definitely the game is a little bit barren without its music. But hey, you can play your own. You will notice I'm not able to pick up those medical supplies down there. That's because my ship's cargo hold is currently full, so I will have to go down to a banker station to try and replenish that. But first, I want to try and kill the bunnies! Oh, hello there. Apparently this guy was munching on some food. Hopefully that food wasn't one of the bunnies I was supposed to kill. Yeah, as I'm sure you can tell, these extermination missions are a little bit annoying. Especially when the enemies are constantly moving around. And sometimes I almost feel like the... Oh, hello there, bunny. Sometimes I almost feel like the enemies spawn in some of these areas that you can't actually access, which is annoying to say the least. I mean, there are certain augmentations you can get for your character that will allow him to traverse water and mountains, but they are in my history they have tended to be quite rare. So, anyways, I'm just going to abandon this mission for right now, and let's see if we can find that war point. We already did. It's right down there to the bottom right. We're gonna want to go back to that banker station. Also, allow our shields to recharge after that very scary moment where I almost ran out of supplies. I don't know why I'm trying to. Pop my microphone. I don't know why I'm trying to friggin' mine asteroids when I'm full on my supplies. Either way, refill that, sell my stuff, go to commodities. You can either sell these by pressing the key, so if I were to press 0, I'm selling one. No. Wait, what? That took me to the officer screen. No! If I were to press maybe capital O? Nope, that still takes me to the officer. Oh, so it sells my food and takes me to the officer screen. That's a bug that will hopefully be patched. Alternatively, you can just hold shift and press shift or press backslash or with, you know, question mark, and that will automatically sell everything, which is nice and quick. Definitely speeds up the banking process, but if you're trying to min-max, that might not be something you want to do. Electro knife, hello there. That will give us speed and deal a lot of damage. I'm going to go ahead and purchase that one. Like, here we go, water walkers. Expensive as all hell. That costs more than my ship does, but it lets your landing crew walk across water. Also, ironically enough, this is still Easter when which this is being recorded. Oh, good. A steel sword is only worth $26 in this society. Wow. That is definitely something. Pay forward shipyard is still as always, so let's go over here to the warp point now that we've filled up and warp to Sector 4. There is one last type of thing I want to go over, which is the abandoned ships. Oh, spatial anomaly. That automatically gives us quite a bit of data right off the bat. The Gruff are apparently still angry with us. The thing about the Gruff, though, is that they actually increase our race relations every single time we kill them. Unlike basically every single other thing out there. So, you know. Again, the different races have their own little quirks, and it's charming enough. I like it. It's better than having every single race like you for doing the exact same thing. You can just die. Stop hurting my shields. Every single time you hurt my shields, you end up hurting me a little bit. Oh, come on, where's this back? This is another reason why it's nice to have that. Oh god, this is not good. Shields are down, and the Gruff are being dicks. That's, oh my god, more of them. This is another reason why it's nice to have that trader, though, because, he gets, as I said, he gets that beacon that immediately tells you about, come on, get out of my way. That immediately tells you where the banker station is. There's a jump. Oh, there we go, I found it. Let's just go over there. I don't care about the damage, whatever. I can repair it. I can repair it later. This is a pitiful shield that this thing starts with. Very pitiful, very much so. What do we have? Another bloody cruiser, of course. God. Give me my freaking freighter game. I would kind of like it if there was, like, you know, more ships available in the shipyard, because as it currently stands, there's only one ship, and that ship will never, ever change. So that is definitely something to bear in mind. Ah, planet that's infested with carnivorous plants. There we go. That might be something I can handle. I'll buy that one. Carnivorous plants can't run away. Shipyard, and there's still no abandoned. There are certain different. Come on, speak, damn it. There are certain types of. Come on, go away. Good God, this friggin' galaxy hates me. There are certain types of other things that you can board. There's what's it called? There's abandoned ships, which will which again, you have an oxygen limit, despite the fact that it's an abandoned ship. You would think they would have a functioning system, but they, I guess that might be why it's abandoned, that their life support failed. But you can find those. Those are not randomly generated. Those are actually created with a level editor, which I will have to show you in a minute, once we actually get... Well, honestly, at this point, I'm thinking that I've basically demonstrated the gist of this gameplay. There is one last thing I haven't showed you, and those are, whenever you explore a planet, you can come across a, what's called as a, Phyraxian... I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to call it a Phyrax. A Phyraxian, what's it called? Okay, you just die. I know you're going to try and kill me, but you can just go ahead and die. A Phyrax artifact, which will, collecting a certain amount of those will lead you to a Phyraxian, what's called Star Temple, which will give you an artifact at the risk of your own captain, because your captain will engage in the boarding party on those missions. Is that Gruff running away? Nope. Hello there. You can just go ahead and die. But yes, over there you can find artifacts which are worth a surprising amount of money. Very much worth your time to go there. And they all, having those artifacts will also increase your relations with the Phyrax themselves. So, again, it's different ways to increase the opinion of different creatures in this game. Regardless, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and save and quit out of this one to try and show you guys the, what's it called? The level editor in this game, which is, it's definitely something. I like it quite a bit. I mean, you know, anytime there's a level editor, it's nice. So, I'll see you guys in a minute, because it is a completely different program.
Ibology.
Oddly enough, the game or the map editor has that intro, but the game does not, which is oddly enough. But either way, yeah, there's the Ibology intro. Kind of charming. And this is your level editor. It will start you off with, as far as what I can tell, is a randomly generated ship, and then you can sort of create your own and email it to. I believe it says yeah, there we go. Please Your creations have the file extension of .ais. Please attach them in an email to saunders72@hotmail.com. So you do have to actually email it to the developer if you want it to show up in a future build of the game. Either way, I'm just going to erase this whole thing. And again, you can basically just go hog wild with these ships. There's really no limit or anything like that, other than, of course, screen size, which, oddly enough, it's kind of weird, because if I go, like, this tile over here can't be filled, and if you go over here, then apparently this tile can be filled, even though I'm pretty sure it actually can't. I don't know, it's just one of those odd things, like the fact that the cursor actually shows up on this side. You can't actually do anything over there, but anyways. Isn't there an actual, like, delete? Yeah, there we go, delete all. That'll start off with an empty one. For the sake of this, I'm actually going to load up one of my own maps here, which I have not actually emailed this one yet, but this is one of the things that you can do with the level editor. Again, you can just sort of create a ship. As you can see, I call it the USS, or wait, what do I call it? The Antaria bow. So the ship is called the Antaria. This is just the bow of the ship. Try to give us sort of like the effect of having more to the ship. You know, like this is only the front half, and the last half just kind of got destroyed and left off Halo 3 style. But, you know, of course the player cannot actually get down here because these damage tiles, damage section, can't move here. So your players cannot actually move past these. So I tried to move, you know, prevent that. In addition, there are these red security fields, which correspondingly have a red laser, or have a red lever, which if your character touches, or which if the player's character touches, it will dismantle that. You can also throw around the trade goods. You can throw around these other pickups. This one will give them a random augment or device or weapon or whatnot. This one will give your character, will give them data if they manage to acquire it. This one's supplies, money, artwork, which I assume is just another trade good. I'm not sure why it's up there. And crafting parts, which, again, collecting these will give you crafting parts, which you can use in the crafting menu, which I have no idea how to bloody use, otherwise I would have demonstrated it by now. So, again, definitely something to work on there. And, of course, you can throw down these various monsters to piss off the enemies. These eyeballs are the most broken things ever. They have low HP, low damage, but they can poison your character, which is really, really, really annoying. And they can replicate, which means that basically if you throw down enough eyeballs in one location and the player doesn't handle that soon enough, like if they explore, if I were to say throw down in this entire room full of eyeballs, and the player were to explore up here instead, then basically this entire half of the ship would be unexplorable because the eyeballs would basically just kill you instantly. So, you know, that's definitely feel like the eyeballs might need a little bit of a nerf. I would have loved to demonstrate that, but I didn't see any abandoned ships, and even if I did, there's no guarantee that there would be an eyeball on it. So I only decided to throw up 2 of those relatively close to the player spawn, which is what this right over here is. This is the airlock, which is where the player would spawn in. That's where his that's where the player's landing craft would end up, and this is where he would start his mission. So yeah, you can just sort of create all kinds of things. You can create a horrifyingly dangerous ship, which I mean, I'd assume the eyeball, which is how he goes via his Twitter handle, would have some sort of quality control. So making a ship like, say this, where, you know, if let's just have some space over here. This is where they boarded, I guess. And then you just throw down nothing but an army of eyeballs, zombies, all around the spawn, and then let's add in some space sponge snipers as well. I'd imagine a ship like this would not actually end up making it in. So, you know, I definitely assume that there's some kind of quality control going on there. But yeah, it's a pretty cool level editor. You can make all kinds of things. I still need to make the engineering part of the Antaria, but whatever. I think that's going to be the end of this one. I believe we have covered everything that this game has. Currently, this game is not available, actually. As I said, early access has been closed, but you can download the beta. You can download the full level editor. The level editor is available to you, even if you don't own the game. You can download the beta of the demo for Beta 4. Which, come to think of it, might not have been a bad idea, but then I would have lost all my progress, which sucks. And then you can also vote for it on Steam Greenlight. If this seems like something that's straight up down your alley, then you can totally download or vote for it on Greenlight. And again, even if you yourself wouldn't buy it, but you still think it's a cool concept, or still think somebody else would like to buy it, then still vote for it on Greenlight. You have no idea how much that helps. But either way, that is going to be the end of this one. So be sure to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more. Check out the links down below for the game's soundtrack, or, you know, the game's soundtrack sample, the game itself, and the Steam Greenlight link. And I will see you guys next time.